Good morning. Today is August 8th, 2024. Was the program of Inside Nigeria, your breakfast show on Leadership Television. And my name is Winifred Ubebo, your host on the program. On this segment of the show, we review front headline stories of some select newspapers, including Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership. And as we normally do on the program, we like to flag up with Leadership. Let's see what Leadership has as its main cover and other leading stories today. Leadership is still on the developing story on the hunger protest that took place last week. And it says hunger protest, federal government warns against foreign interference, raises the alarm over inflow of illicit weapons. MSNUC warns youth against vandalism. Northern groups seek amnesty for arrested protesters. Kaduna 24-hour curfew still in force. Bauchi relaxes curfew on Katagum. I'll take that once again. Hunger protest, federal government warns against foreign interference. Raises the alarm over inflow of illicit weapons. MSNUC warns youth against vandalism. Northern groups seek amnesty for arrested protesters. Kaduna 24-hour curfew still in force. Bauchi relaxes curfew on Katagum. These are the riders beneath that hunger protest main headline story. And still on Leadership, Ugochinyere denies bribing Speaker to chair House Committee. Senate queries $1.5 billion spent on Port Harcourt refinery. It's a story that runs on page 7 of Leadership. Senate queries $1.5 billion spent on Port Harcourt refinery. Fear queues persist in major cities. Of course, that includes Abuja. As we speak, the fear queue is unabated. FEMA begins CNG conversion of operational vehicles, and that takes us to the story just beneath the masthead. Leadership's initiative to lift 2 million out of poverty imperative, Governor Sule. And that story also has the photo today gracing the cover of Leadership. We have the management staff of Leadership on a courtesy visit to the Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule yesterday in Government House, Lafayette. Above the masthead, West African defense chiefs insist on civilian rule. Bureaucracy behind delay in our 50% salary slash reps. Of course, it was reported yesterday, one of the dailies, that reps, despite their vows to slash their salaries, are still getting full salary. And the reps, in reaction to that, says bureaucracy behind delay in our 50% salary slash. From that, we move to the page 3 of Leadership, the cabinet page on Leadership, and that is our stand. Our stand is on the avert imminent catalysm. Of course, you want to find out what that means. Avert imminent catalysm is the editorial today on Leadership, and that also takes us to the back page where we have Being Blunt with Muazu Elize. Muazu is writing on fog over Port Harcourt refinery. Fog over Port Harcourt refinery, of course, is almost in sync with one of the headline stories today on Leadership, that Senate queries $1.5 billion spent on Port Harcourt refinery. These and more you'll find in Leadership's website as you log on to read more, www.leadership.ng. From Leadership, we move to Vanguard. Vanguard still on similar story on hunger protest, developing story. Stay clear of our internal affairs. Federal government wants foreign powers. Same as Leadership. We are probing 7 Polish nationals arrested over Russian flags in Kano, DSS. Thugs harass journalists, beat up protesters in Rivers. Army arrests soldier whose warning shot killed 16-year-old in Zaria. As coerced delegation visits family, Plateau, Bauchi relaxed curfew. Headline story on Vanguard. Same with Leadership. Rest Committee Chair denies giving $1.7 million bribe to Speaker Abbas. And in sports, the Tigress soared to 8th in FIBA rankings. Congratulations to the Tigress of Nigeria. Above the masthead of Vanguard, CBN eases forex pressure, says $876.26 million to end users at 1,495 naira per dollar. UK assures Nigerians of safety amid riots. NNPCL to Senate, oil and gas industry bleeding. Federal government spends $600 million on fuel importation monthly, Adrian, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, says federal government spends $600 million on fuel importation monthly. This concludes the review of front headline stories today on Vanguard newspaper. For more, log on to www.vanguardngr.com. From the Vanguard, the Punch also is punching the same similar story. Punch says hunger protest loses steam as DSS greets 7 foreigners. Hunger protest loses steam as DSS greets 7 foreigners. Police crackdowns hot protest. US UK demand dialogue. Northern governors relax curfew. Sanusi blames Kano looting on intelligence failure. Tension rises as soldiers shoot ball in Kaduna. Riders beneath the main headline story on protest, developing story on protest, loses steam as DSS greets 7 foreigners. Beneath that, Nigeria urges ECOWAS defense chiefs to curb coups. Nigeria urges ECOWAS defense chiefs to curb coups. Of course, ECOWAS chairman is our president, Bola Tinubu. APC tackles Bauchi governor over attack on Tinubu. 5 Nasarawa children die after eating farm food. Olympics, gallantly the Tigers bow out in quarter-finals. Unfortunately and sad for Nigerians, gallant the Tigers bow out in quarter-finals. Of course, they had their quarter-finals bout with the USA team. That takes us to the story just beside the masthead of the Punch. Oil theft, reps deny speakers $1.7 million bribe for appointments. Crude crisis, National Assembly to probe NNPC Dangote refinery. CBN dumps 12-month forex policy with $876 million auction. CBN dumps 12-month forex policy with $876 million auction. Fuel queues may linger till next week, according to marketers, and that also concludes the review of front headline stories on the Punch newspaper. For more, log on to www.punchng.com. From the Punch, we move to our Daily Sun newspaper. Daily Sun has different main headline story altogether at its main story. It says twist in oil sector probe. Senate reps flout on rules as questions over $1.5 billion expended on Port Harcourt refinery gain steam. Twist in oil sector probe. Senate reps flout on rules as questions over $1.5 billion expended on Port Harcourt refinery gain steam. And the second main headline story says Nigeria's fuel consumption figure unknown. Agent spends $600 million on imports monthly. Troops destroy illegal bunkering sites in Rivers, Bayelsa. Bunkering sites of crude oil in Rivers and Bayelsa. Troops destroy illegal bunkering sites in Rivers, Bayelsa. It's a story that runs on page 4. You could say that Daily Sun has stories on oil sector today as its main headline story. Second main headline story, and also another representing the discovery and destruction of illegal bunkering sites in Rivers and Bayelsa. Also, other stories on the cover says PDP APC trade wars over alleged plot to cause mayhem in Edo. Of course, it's not far from the looting of rice in some vehicles and in some houses during the hunger protest hardship protest that took place in Edo State. Of course, some citizens looted some rice that were found in a lorry and also in some houses. So PDP APC trade wars over alleged plot to cause mayhem in Edo. This is the fallout of that hunger protest, looting of rice. CDS urges ECOWAS defense chiefs to uphold democratic values. NLC lambasts government over handling of end bad governance. Says they to mourn victims of protest. Says they to mourn victims of protest. NLC. Confusion in court as 2 lawyers appear in suit seeking reverse expenditure shut down. Reps no read between Abbas Benjamin Kalu. Ugo Chinyere denies paying $1.7 million for chair panel appointment. And the last story on the cover of Daily Sun today says protest. Federal government insists there was foreign interference. Army admits use of live bullet on protesters. Army admits use of live bullet on protesters is a story that runs on page 6 and 26 of Daily Sun today. For more, log on to the website www.thesun.ng. That also concludes the review of front headline stories of the Daily Sun today, Thursday, August 8th, 2024. From the Daily Sun, we move to the last paper we have for review on this first segment of the program, and that is The Guardian. The Guardian's main headline story is on higher education. Amid hurdles, public varsities made 12 billion naira from transcript request in 5 years. Higher education. Amid hurdles, public varsities make 12 billion naira from transcript request in 5 years. And beneath that, we have illustration as usual underneath the main headline story. Nigerian varsity cashing out. You see transcripts coming out of the ATM, and it says how not to be an alma mater. Opportunities. A bird is flying that. Amidst hurdles, public varsities make 12 billion naira from transcript request in 5 years. Public varsities refers to federal government-owned universities and also state-owned universities too. Beneath that, CBN auctions $876 million at 1,495 naira per dollar to clear retail forest request backlog. Economic sabotage. Senate queries $1.5 billion spent on Port Harcourt refinery. Despite subsidy removal, Nigeria spends $600 million monthly on fuel imports. 24,816 people killed, 15,597 kidnapped in Nigeria in 5 years is on news page 3 of The Guardian. 24,816 people killed, 15,597 kidnapped in Nigeria in 5 years. Sanusi links Kano violent protest to intelligence failure. Don't fund politics with union dues, ministry tells NRC TUC. Grandman, son, two grandchildren die after Amala meal in Ilorin. This was a story that was reported yesterday in The Punch. Grandman, son, grandchildren die after Amala meal in Ilorin. In another address, Tinubu asked Nigerians to look beyond temporary pains. Of course, that was already been debunked by Bayo Onanuga. He said the video should be ignored, that it was from last year's own. In another address, Tinubu asked Nigerians to look beyond temporary pains. And the last story on The Guardian today says, cool, terrorism threatening West Africa's existence, says Chief of Defense Staff. Cool, terrorism threatening West Africa's existence, says CDS, and it's on news page 3 of The Guardian. For more, log on to www.guardian.ng. And from The Guardian, we also draw the curtain on the first segment of this program, Inside Nigeria. The second segment is coming in soon with our guest in the studio. Don't go away, stay tuned. Welcome back. In case you're just joining in, the program is Inside Nigeria. Inside Nigeria is a breakfast show on leadership television where we discuss front headline stories on some select newspapers and also some trending issues. And on this segment of the show, I have my first big guest in the studio. He's a political economist. He's also a public affairs analyst, Olamilekan Adekolare. Thank you so much once again.
Thanks for having me. Very good morning
Like
to
I
all
always
of
say,
you.
it's always a pleasure to have you on the program.
Exactly.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, what is trending today is still on developing story, as I said earlier, on the hunger protest that took place last week. And from what happened, developing story says DSS says they are interrogating 7 foreigners over their role in that hunger protest. Of course, we also saw that in the north, some northerners who engaged or participated in protest were seen waving Russian flags. Of course, Russian embassy has also distanced itself from that, saying that it has no hand in it. What are you saying?
I think for me, it's for us to look back at where the flying of Russian flag started from Kanu, started from a particular local government called Kuma Fagi, and that local government hosts a lot of Nigerians, Malians, foreigners in that particular local government, and it means also said that the majority of the population in that local government are foreigners. So it was like an influence on the part of those foreigners in that part of Kanu, in that local government, to influence them that, okay, if we are enjoying a sense of belonging by Russia playing a host and helping our government to topple our democratic government, now we have a military government, it can also happen in Nigeria. And that has been the focal point of analysis since 2 days, or since last week Saturday, that flying of Russian flags started. And we also want to appreciate the authorities that they are taking some drastic measures. But that drastic measure is not enough. They arrested the tailor that is showing a flag. They arrested some youths, but they should go deeper than the surface of this particular
Yes,
issue.
and people are wondering and asking questions. How come the waving of flags it flew so easily? Is it that there was already plans in the offing?
And funny enough, people want to mistake that.
Haste that
Yes.
they came up with that flag angle.
Exactly. And there was.
Is this something that already was on the offing?
Definitely, it could be something that has been discussed maybe before now, maybe something that has been ringing in the mind of the people, particularly that Kumafagi local government. It could be something that has influenced the discussion and action of people. And if you also recall that most of our brothers may not listen to BBC Hausa, listen to Voice of America Hausa, they may have been hearing information how the military government in Nigeria, Mali, Burkina Faso have been thriving, even though the economic indicator have not shown whether the people are better off than us, but you could have shown that there's a list of security, and this issue of whereby politicians are amassing wealth is not showing forth in those countries. That could have influenced those people. But beyond that, there is the other issue that are arising from the flying of flags, whereby they want to change the narrative and saying that that flag belongs to the military forces in Nigeria. But unfortunately for the people playing out that narrative, it was discovered that the military force in Nigeria started with red, blue, white. Meanwhile, the one they are flying started with blue, white, red. Or could also be the other one, blue, white, red, or blue, red, white. You understand? And the red in Nigerian defense color stands for the army, the blue stands for the air force, and the white stands for the navy. So, when I'm bringing this up, we need to also explain to people that that particular flag is not Nigerian defense flag. But that was almost playing out on social media. That it was Nigerian defense flag. They are calling on Nigerian military to take over. But we know that that is not actually what they are saying to do, because the foundation of where this kind of flag started from.
But we also saw in some of the videos, protest videos that also went viral when they were saying that I think they were telling some military that they should not come in this country.
Definitely,
that they welcome them.
Exactly, because that is the end point, or the end justify the means. By the time you beckon on the military to do that, what it means that you want them to take over. And a lot of narrative are also being put around this. During Buhari time, nobody fly any flag. You get it? Nobody do this, nobody do that. So why now? So he following a lot of conversation, but for me, it's just for the authority to do the rightful action that will pull this and end it at the end of the day. The flying of flags of our different countries, another nation's land, is quite very dangerous. Although the Russian government have said no, they are not part of it. Although we also know that even the Niger, Burkina Faso that we are talking about, it wasn't directly the Russian government overthrow that helped the military to overthrow. It was the Wagner group. And as we speak right now, there's a confusion around that Wagner group operating in Niger, Burkina Faso, as well as Mali. There's a confusion right now because just 2 days back, Ukraine faction of that group have been sent packing by the Nigerian government. So it also shows that there's more to this particular issue that we are looking at.
So will you say that the military will do justice to the proof of this? Because there was also reports that some former governors or some politicians in the northern area also
Mm-hmm.
being killed
Mm-hmm.
by the DSS.
For me,
Yeah,
that is appropriate because a lot of the disgruntled politicians are out there. They are not happy with the current system. Most of them that have lost out in the election, most of them that have lost out in appointment, most of them that are not getting the GC contract anymore. They have lost out. So they will always pinch on this particular scenario that we are facing now and put it open and try to cajole the youth to go into it. Someone wrote something else, Dr. Abdul. He said there are three factors that have led to this protest, particularly in the north. He said one is opportunity, second is grievance, and third is greed. The greed speaks volume about the politicians in the north. And we have to tell ourselves we know that the challenge that the north is facing today is not because federal government have not been very active. Even when Buhari was there, he was very active. It was the north that made Buhari to establish Minister of Humanitarian and Disaster Management. It wasn't because anybody needs humanitarian. And they spent a lot of money in that ministry. Talk about the development commission that have been established northeast, northwest, now north central is coming, north south east has gotten down. It is because of let government be able to prioritize infrastructure development, basic social amenities. That's why they established. But the politicians across board, not just in the north, but at this point in time, we need to hammer it on the north politicians because they are the problem of the northern youth as well as development.
Exactly, because you heard what the NDDC also said 3 days ago that the forensic report on the COVID fund is missing.
It's missing
and
because
you begin to ask yourself, how did he fly? Did he have wings to fly?
He didn't have wings to fly. It's in some people's accounts, some people's pockets, some people's houses, some people's investment, particularly virtual investment that most politicians are putting their money. They're not putting their money in concrete investment, virtual investment like a capital market, forex market and the rest of that's why they're putting them. That's why I cannot offshore and the rest of them. So the money is somewhere. Money is always being spent across Abuja and other cities because the money sprinkle. And when politicians get money like that, they sprinkle it down. And how it get down is that as long as you are close to them, either through contract or through procurement, you get your own share.
Now in Daily Sun, the army against use of light bullets and protesters.
It's very sad that that coming to the narrative of this protest, but as we do it, I think since Monday I was in a group and we did a review. The soldiers are also when I left here on Thursday, what some of us faced on our way from Abuja to Kefi, if it is to be someone that doesn't have heart, they will turn back. The rioting and rampaging youth, they were mean. We have to tell ourselves the truth. They were very mean. They were not protesters. They were rioting, they were rampaging, they are extorting people. So in that case that soldiers now come and quell protest, and for the information of Nigeria, that there was a police post that was born in Nigeria along the Kefi Abuja road.
But the police came out to deny that it was what this that was born, not the police.
No, it wasn't a building. It was a container.
Yes, the container.
It was born. It was the youth were burning tires. So in the process of burning tire, they threw one of the tires in fire into that particular police post. You get it? So it was why I'm trying to bring this narrative so that we will not just condemn the military for throwing up life because citizens also face life-threatening challenge. When we were confronted with this rioting for rapidly, they were collecting people's homes, they were snatching bags. There was a poor woman that sells fish in Makata. On her way to Koru, they collected her bag containing 200,000 naira. And these are not protesters. So when military now come into a situation whereby their life is also threatened, although the one that the military said that happened in Kaduna was that it was a warning shot. Yes, they admitted it was a warning shot. And that warning shot, when you throw a warning shot, it goes up and comes down. So that was so we just need to discourage use of life bullets. But we also need to understand everybody's life is at stake. When rapidly youth who have no direction without organization pull into the street and in the name of protest.
Yes, and also there's also a conflicting figure concerning the casualty. While some papers, media houses reported 16, the military said 7.
I think maybe what is happening is that many people are adding the death occurrence of the bomb blast. There were 2 bomb blasts in Berlin. There was 1 in Yobe. So the death figure were also added. That's why when particular civil society groups signed a press release and they said 56 people, there was a counter on them that no, why are you adding the death because Borno and Yobe to it? That should be excused. Then the numbers of figures is still complicated because nobody can really point it out. Because in Abuja, for instance, some people say somebody died in Abuja. We don't know whether it is from police shooting or it is from the rampaging who are attacking people. Because even the leader of the Abuja police confessed that they were attacked by irate youth who wanted to collect phones, who wanted to hijack the protest and the rest of them. Then in Maraba, someone was also stabbed. Whether the person
In
survived,
Niger, I think Niger recorded so many deaths.
death
because
as
that
a
was the
result of
war thing.
rampaging youth. They say it was because,
Yes.
according to a report that little young children were also part of the protest. That when military now came, because of that dispersing them, a lot of people were fall down and stampede and the rest of that all led to the death of people. But we just need to find the figure around it and put appropriate figure out.
But now, looking at the president's speech, many also criticize the president's speech that the president did not address some of the issues raised by these protesters. Instead, they insisted that they should maintain definitely no more protest. And that even erudite Nobel laureate winner, Professor Frank also gave a note to that speech.
My view is
The
this.
president has done better.
No, he would have done better. He didn't address the fundamental issue, particularly the refinery.
Yes.
He didn't address the issue of TNT, particularly 3,000 buses to promise all to everybody.
He didn't address the issue of refinery, just like what you said.
That's the main thing.
When he was removing the fuel subsidy during his inauguration, he did say that by December, the Port Harcourt refinery was going to be up and running.
Exactly.
And to date, as we speak, a year and a half now down the corner.
Nothing is happening.
Instead, we are having it. It's something that we are going to discuss because some papers have it today, and Daily Sun has that main story. Police in oil sector probe. Teenage reps flat one rules as questions over $1.5 billion expended on Port Harcourt refinery this month.
Very well.
That is a whole lot of money. 1.5. Then how much does it take to even get?
They're even looking at the one that was maybe this particular money was the one that was released. There was initial money that was the NFPC GMB military started releasing since when it came up in 2019. The first one was about 19.
One of the papers, he said he's going to tell the truth very soon. When and I asked just before we started, I said, when is he going to tell his own truth?
Where the truth? When he has come? When the thing is that do you know that the organogram of NNPC now, the way it is now, he has used the law, instrumentality of the law, to make it impossible for the president to sack it.
Yes, because they put himself into the PIA that cannot be sacked. He has to complete his tenure.
So why we could just
and one begins to ask, how do our president or those in power sign these bills into law without even taking into cognizance the A and B or the letter of it?
You know, it was not Tinubu that signed it.
It was
signed by although there was a review of it. A lot of people.
Because I heard about it since that he put himself, and even the accountant or what?
Exactly. The executive director of finance, because these are the two positions that can
that they now also put themselves into that BIA that they cannot be sacked.
Unless maybe after that.
And you know, there was so much attention on the host community's money there, talking about 5% or 5%. So nobody was even interested in the whole other block.
You know why? Because many people was not expecting him to transform from the bureaucratic NMPC into a corporate NMPC. Nobody was expecting. They were expecting that, okay, as he's transiting, a new phase will come in. But Buhari maintained him and put him there. Which was another government that is very serious. They will not put Melekari there because there have been a report of him when he was GMD of Benin, a Warri refinery. There was a lot of reports about him. You get it? He and Farouk Ahmed was the other guy in NPRB. So they have had issues. So whatever you want to talk about, you should keep it to yourself. You don't need it. That was how the other man from Kaduna that took billions of naira and trillions of foreign currency and said it was a gift. They also say he's going to make the former GMB and say he's going to make time to tell us the truth. Now he has not made up any. So the issue is that Melekari should keep his truth to himself. It has been revealed. What is happening in the National Assembly again has exposed the intrigues and the frivolous activities of NNP. Ugochi Ere has now been messed up. It's
Ugochi Ere that said, because there was a report that he bribed and now he said that he didn't say nothing of that.
I think for me, Ugochi Ere shot himself.
Ugochi Ere denies bribing speaker to chair House
He's
committee.
just coming back. He didn't do it. Even though he may not have bribed him, but we know that when committee was to be members of the game, he was so active to the point that he was making a lot of press release. He was even making some jamboree noise like they are putting this square peg in a round hole and putting round hole in square peg. You know those kind of things. He was making the way he normally do his propaganda against established authorities so that they can favor him. That's what he did in National Assembly before they made him member of the committee. And so if people say accuse him of bribing, he's not far from the truth because we knew what he did. You get it. But on the other hand is that the NNPC have now been known Although we have known it to be a sacred cow for many, many years, but we are now knowing that the shenanigans and all the illegal activities and NNPC is not being exposed. Particularly the issue of the mortar refinery that was built, linking it to Wale Tinubu, the cousin of President Tinubu, and the rest of them. So it has not exposed.
And many, I also think that it was even because of that name dropping by Dangote that actually made the president is okay, NNPC, you sell to Dangote and other refineries in Nigeria. How do you react to that?
It's very fast, very fast. But for me, it is not even that one. The issue is that how come they allow the refinery to linger this long? From when Military became GM in 1990 till now, he's always shifting the goalpost. He started with the Warri refinery. That Warri refinery will work. He went back to Port Harcourt. Then he came back to Port Harcourt 2. He went back to Port Harcourt 1. Then the Port Harcourt 1 is what they are looking at, the money that was spent so far. Then the Cantonal refinery. It's also not working. The contractor that they gave the money to do that, the refurbishment or renovation, is still complaining. So a lot of shenanigans as a result of this party government or party governance in the oil and gas sector. Anything you want to say, nobody will believe it.
And the committee that was set up in the National Assembly to look into these impacts, these pushback prices between NNPCL, the NNPCL, and even Dangote on one hand. At the end of the day, they could not sit.
Because the presidents are waiting.
The committee was not disbanded.
The presidents are waiting. There are youth politics and political economic processes. Give him the tool that he needs. Give other modular refineries the tool that he needs, and matter close. So whatever National Assembly wants to do is just to attract, and that's why you see that even Dangote is not interested in going to National Assembly, because you know that the main thing has been stopped. They are giving him food, and there are reports that the food bag will arrive to his refinery very soon. So he has seen the green light that something good has come to him. But going back to National Assembly may also complicate things, because from the villa, the issue has been set. So if you just get his food and he find for. But the other aspect has to do with the four refineries. If they want to do any investigation, they should zero their torchlight on the four refineries. Why are they not working? What has happened to the refineries? They say it was a mechanical stage December last year. For mechanical stage, they say it's waiting for automation stage to begin to release chemical testing. This morning I saw a report that the refinery in Port Harcourt will start cargo. I was like, every day these are the same line of story.
And they keep drawing. Moving forward.
Exactly. But for military, there is nothing you want to tell us. That particular action that he took, that he made himself the number one person that will become the GMD of NNPC. After NNPC transmit or transform from government bureaucracy ownership to a corporate organization, that one alone has spotted whatever truth you want to tell us. Nobody will believe it, except maybe people that are eating from crumbs from the table to accept the truth about or whatever I want to say. That's just the fact. Because there's this particular thing that NNPC did. They say they are getting about 13,000 outlets be receiving PMS. You know that if you go to NNPC outlets, if there are two on the street, one will be regularly receiving products, the other will not be receiving. You ask yourself, what is the problem? And they have gotten more than 13,000 outlets they are using. They have painted, they have turned them to NNPC. How come they don't get products every time?
Where I stay just started selling after many months of being in that. However, recently, 2 days ago, the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, said fuel importers will frustrate Dangote if they don't have to speak Dangote refinery. Why is that? Why are marketers, oil importers, why are they not well disposed to having buying from Dangote?
This will take us back to the issue of subsidy. Who are the people behind this subsidy propaganda? It is your marketer. There are 5 indicators that have been able to review that. Actually, government will not be paying for subsidy. One was the first allocation that is coming. If you review back to 2016 to 20 late last year, it was between 1 trillion, 1 trillion they are receiving. Less than 1 trillion, 750 billion, 850 billion. That was the highest of the world for Buhari left. But all of a sudden, since January, this has been 2.3, 2.2 like that. Then the other indicators have to do with our forex. No oil marketer is asking the government to give them excess again.
Why is that?
Because they are not the one important. Then the other indicator has to do with the record of what the oil marketer normally say, differentiating price between the north and the south. That federal government is already, nobody is asking that for that money again. Now the fourth has to do with World Bank and IMF complaining about our revenue to debt profile. They kept quiet. Nobody talking about, okay, we are not having money, we are using all our money for importation. Then the last one is the budget for 2024. There is no insertion of fuel subsidy for the budget. Those are the things.
In today's paper, they said federal government spent 600 million dollars on imports monthly.
Because now it is the government owned. Like government is doing direct importation from themselves. All they just do is to
And
sell
it's importing from Malta.
mortar. Yes, now that's what they are doing. So they are directly and selling to oil marketers. You now see another angle that oil marketers want to rob the government with. They now say, landing costs have now increased to 720 naira.
Yes,
There's some there was the platform that was someone that said, if landing cost is increasing to 720 naira,
No.
don't you want to pay for tax? Don't you want to pay for all the demoing and the rest of them? So you have to pay for it. But the issue still boils down that we need to stop it. So the fear of them against Dangote is that if Dangote take charge of this refinery and begin to produce, the oil marketers as well. Because where they are making money is the excesses they are gaining as a result of price control. Because they are the one fixing the price. But Dangote will fix it. Look at the Jet A1.
Yes,
well. They just fix it. Right. This week it is 940 naira per liter. Last week it was 1,020 naira. Now it has come down. So it will be fluctuating based on, although what they picked as one of the challenges of last year was the protest in Lagos because the tankers were unable to move to the airport and other parts of the country. But now that they are moving, that's why the price are coming. So if that comes in, then Dangote will bring down the price. But that doesn't guarantee that it will be stable price. It will be fluctuating based on his own or what financial analysts have pointed out to be that based on the injuries that he have incurred as a result of his loans and other interest. So to be
fluctuating. The price too will also be dependent on him.
Definitely, it will be dependent because he too want to like the 24 billion that he borrowed. They will be paying insurance and paying all those. So you have to put that into factor. But it will be more better for another angle of Dangote. It's not just Nigerian market that is targeting. It's targeting West Africa. Targeting West Africa and Central Africa. So that could be a good one for him as a businessman.
Right. Thank you so much. Now we are moving ahead. We have a story and of course some other papers today. CBN eases forest pressure sells $876.26 million to end users at 1,495 naira per dollar.
When I saw that report, I said there's nothing like the end users there. Let's forget. Although I understand the process.
That is a confusing story.
What they did is there's what they call the retail Dutch system, the RDSA. Auction.
And the point said CBN dumps 12-month forest policy with $876 million.
And what happened was that now they are looking at selling directly to bank customers who needed the forest. What the policy is now, if I need $2,000, I'll go to my bank and fill from Q, from A, and from B that I need $. Now my banks will now send my list among other people that require particular to CBN. So CBN will now look at it. Then before CBN will give and release the money, they will first ask the bank how much was left out of the one we gave you 2 days ago or 3 days ago. So if the bank cannot respond positively, they will not attend to the. And again, if I'm requesting for 2,000, I must be able to indicate what I want to do. Is it for education? Is it for business? Is it for importation? So it must be indicated. So that's it. So what they are not saying that they are going to be using it directly to settle me who needs the dollar. But we know what our banks will do. By the time they get the money, they may say, okay, Mr. Polan is $4,000. Yeah, we can't give 4,000. It's 2,000.
We can give you.
That's why I say I ported the system. They would have gone back to the initial system they were using. Give them the money, give BDC the money, let them be selling, but then they control the price. But at this point, that is 1,495 naira per dollar. That's what they're selling. The reason is because the securitization and what do you call it? All the papers that CBN is selling, they need to make money. That's why they are not selling to 1,000 for BDC. It's now 1,004. So BDC will sell at 1,510 naira because their own is that they must not make beyond 30. And that's why you can see the reduction in the price. Many people are asking, I think no, at this point, there's bond paper that government have sold, there's social paper that CBN have sold. They have to make money back. If they don't sell the dollar at that point, there's no way they will pay the people who have bought all their funds.
Okay, thank you so much for that enlightenment. Now we move to The Guardian. The Guardian has different stories together at its main headline. It says, higher education amid hurdles, public varsities make 12 billion naira from transcript request in 5 years. Of course, banks are cashing in, as illustrated by the Guardian underneath that story.
It's very sad that a investor will be selling transcript for 30,000 naira. They'll be selling transcript for 40,000 naira. It's quite sad. After someone have gone through tuition fee, everything it's supposed to be free. In developed line, they give you your transcript for free. But here in Nigeria, certificate and transcript is like a money machine for university vacancies. That's why many of us counter the former vice chancellor of University of Abuja, Professor Nahala. He made a lot of money from transcript sale and certificate. Where is the money today? Where is the money today? So it's a challenge that government needs to look at it. Not just transcript sale and certificate sale, including non-refund acceptance fee. I don't know where they got that idea of non-refund acceptance fee, because of developed climate universities collect non-refund acceptance fee. Now bring it down, and people will be accusing the federal government of, although we need to still put the table of federal government. If the federal government have been very proactive, the Minister of Education have been very proactive, all this nonsense that the universities vice chancellor are doing, it won't be there. These are the means of the things that, these are some of the things that scare away poor man from going to it. Imagine if you get a postgraduate admission now, you pay close to 50,000, 100,000 naira for your acceptance fee. Not the school fee to acceptance fee alone.
Thank you so much, and I'm very much for allowing me the pleasure to have you on the program. Well, this is where we end today's Inside Nigeria, the breakfast from leadership transition. That's what we join us same time for another first edition of the program. My name is Winifred Dubebo. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 08036886158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.